Well, ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here on YouTube, and we're going to be talking about Enjin Coin today, and can it hit $10? That is a nice price point for a coin valued at about $2.30. So before we get into this, check me out on Twitter at Real6Fig. This is where I'm dropping links to live streams, new upcoming videos, and of course charts when I cannot make it to a computer to drop a video. Furthermore, we will be ripping into market cap and circulating supply in just a moment. Let's go over the charts first. So with that said, we can see that right around this $2.30-ish level is a barrier for Enjin Coin. And one thing I want to go ahead and point out is that currently Enjin Coin is kind of far away from the cloud. And so what happened the last time this occurred? Well, we can see a nice incidence of this back in early to late August, where Enjin Coin really ripped up to this $2.30 level, and we really pressed this level and triple topped, maybe quadruple topped it. Built up a nice ascending triangle, and this thing should have ripped the top off this thing. But instead, it could not gather the support needed to move forward. So what did we end up with? We ended up with somewhat of a cup and handle. So that is great to see. And in addition to that, I do think that everyone would be in agreement that we do see an inverse head and shoulders here. That has propelled price back up to these same levels. Now, if we compare and contrast once again, we can see that this thing was trading pretty far away from the cloud, and when it consolidated into this ascending triangle, everything was looking good. So something happened around the 6th of September. Keep that date in mind because we'll check Bitcoin to see what happened. Bitcoin might have ruined this party for Enjin Coin. But here we are again, and so I can't help but to speculate that we may in fact see somewhat of another ascending triangle form here. And this is just on the whim, totally speculative, based off what happened the last time. And you can see that. We had a very nice, somewhat of an ascending triangle form here. I think everybody would be in agreement with that. So here we are again, kind of repeating history, but will we end up seeing the same type of moves? Right now, this looks real sloppy, like Enjin Coin is trying to break through this barrier, but it is not. And I do think that we might have had a little bull pennant that formed here, and we might actually be in the early stages of seeing Elliott wave theory to the upside, or we will likely see price action come back down and maybe kind of do one of these things and then move to the upside. So I think, probably by as early as, within the next couple of weeks, the next week or two, we may in fact see Enjin Coin stack up like we saw here for a move to the upside. So my guess is that we either see an ascending triangle or some sort of bull flag or symmetrical triangle form off this very nice bull flag pull. Now, I'm not trying to get anybody to FOMO into Enjin Coin. This is just me looking at this. That's it. So if we look at, let's just look at a 1 week chart and see what kind of data we have. So to me, when I look at this, I definitely can see the cup and handle much clearer on a weekly chart. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of data there. So it's important to note that now that we are on top of the cloud on the daily chart, that we need to stay on top of this cloud, because once we fall back through the cloud, it's very hard to come back up through it. So with that said, I do think that since we are on top of the cloud, I do think that we will be gearing up for a nice setup to move up even higher. And so you're probably thinking, well, how high up are we going to go? Well, let's try to figure that out and speculate. So I do think that The price of Enjin Coin has every right to come up and test this $2.63 level. This is kind of where we saw this high here, $2.75. That is obviously going to be a price point that is a challenge for Enjin Coin. And actually, if I move down to this low point here, you can kind of see that this $2.70 level really kind of lines up with this candle wick over here. The 127 is going to be a difficult point for Enjin to get through, but if it can, then it's on to the 161.8. That's $3.20. If Enjin Coin really starts running, let's just see how high this ran up from this little impulse wave here. So we can go ahead and measure this. And Enjin ran up to the 200% there. So, I mean, we might even be seeing price discovery all the way up to $3.75 with Enjin Coin, pending Bitcoin in the market cooperates, pending the fact that we get a nice bullish pattern set up here. I do think that this 200% level would support that. One other rule of thumb that you can kind of go by is to draw a pull from this top point here down to this low here, and let's just see what that looks like. And you can kind of see that does support this $3.40, $3.72 area region, just depending on when Enjin Coin starts running. So I do think that, right in between this $3.50 to $3.70 level might be a good landing spot for Enjin. Now, if that does happen, we might be seeing something on a much grander scale, and we might be seeing Elliott wave theory in motion on a grander scale, and this would include something like this, maybe a move like this to the upside. Bear with me, and we could see, bear with me folks, maybe a move something like this over time. And this is over time. Notice how I said over time and not overnight. Typically what we will see is Elliott wave theory impulse waves like this, and then that will be a small leg from point 0 to 1, and we might see something very similar from leg 2 to 3. So bear with me one second here. Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you TradingView for not cooperating with me. It's totally user error. So then we might see, something very similar up to 0.3 and so on and so forth from 4 to 5. And this might run the charts all the way up to right around $7.50, $8, $10 level. You just never know the velocity that these kind of coins can pick up on the way up. So with that said, let's take a quick peek at Enjin Coin. So currently it's trading at $2.26, total market cap of $2 billion. That's nothing to scoff at, but that is a lower market cap. Rank 72, so it's a top 100 coin, and the circulating supply is 934 million. So with that said, excuse me, a 4x on Enjin Coin would put us right up around that $8 billion to $10 billion range, and that would put the price right up to around that $8 to $10 range as well, $9 somewhere in there. So if that did happen, we would be seeing probably in the neighborhood of a $10 billion to $12 billion Enjin Coin. And to give you an idea of some other coins that are right up in this area, Litecoin, Uniswap, Algorand, Bitcoin Cash, Cosmos, those are some names to mention that are kind of floating up in this region. So it wouldn't surprise me to see if Enjin made some sort of run-up, at least to the top 30 coins, top 25, 30. So I do think that Enjin does have the potential to run up to $10, at least $8, $9 for sure. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but dependent on Bitcoin at the same time. So let's look at Bitcoin, folks. And Bitcoin, we can see currently, bear with me 1 second. I picked a 4-minute chart instead of a 4-hour chart. We can see Bitcoin is kind of in this this position right now where we're either going to get a third impulse wave to the upside, or maybe something like this to the upside, or we are going to see a head and shoulders pattern play out and plague the market. That's, in my opinion, where Bitcoin is at, and we can definitely see that there is a corrective wave moving to the downside. So it wouldn't surprise me that on the 4-hour chart, if Bitcoin comes down and nudges shoulders with this 200 moving average right around $56,000, $57,000, somewhere in there. But that might be what is needed to complete a possible inverse head and shoulders on the chart, something like this, and then it would be a move to the upside to hopefully break more records. If that does not happen, well, let's just say that does happen here quick, and I can get, let's just say if that happens, I can get TradingView to cooperate with me. We definitely might be seeing this leg up to some new all-time highs, maybe right up to the $75,000 region, $70,000 region, because previous trend lines to the top would support that in this case. So this is going to be very interesting to see how Bitcoin does play out. If it does fall here and we get the nasty head and shoulders, it would be down to around $20,000 at the bottom of the bear market. Notice how I said bottom of the bear market, when nobody's interested or talking about crypto. That's just my guess. So big shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you all for supporting the channel. It's $3 a month. Get your name, YouTube channel name, or business name up on this banner. I hope you guys enjoyed today's TA. Remember to smash that like button.